If I saw somebody heal the sick in a way that appeared to be miraculous, would that convince me that that person was the Son of God, or would it make me more inclined to believe in God? No, it wouldn't. And the reason is that the two don't necessarily follow on from one another. There isn't any kind of logical step that takes me from seeing somebody perform an act of healing, no matter how miraculous or inexplicable it is, and concluding that that person is either the Son of God or that there is some kind of God behind it. I think it's a lot like saying that just because you see a doctor healing somebody, that doctor has to be a good person, because healing people is a good thing. If you look back over the last 50 years or so, you'll see that there's plenty of evidence to show that not all doctors are good. Some of them are murderers, some of them are even serial killers. You then ask if I'd be prepared to give up questioning authority when that authority comes from Jesus Christ. And again, the answer's got to be no. I think that any divine being would have a compelling enough argument to be able to convince me, rather than just having to turn around and say, believe this because I say so. And it doesn't make any sense to me that having witnessed something inexplicable, having witnessed a few magic tricks, that I would somehow be able to unhook my brain and start not thinking, just believing blindly what I'm being told. It's something I'd find very difficult to do. Thinking and questioning and analysing are so much part of my character and so much part of what I enjoy about being alive, that discovery, that joy that I get from actually understanding how things work. It'd be very difficult for me to break that habit. So what would probably happen is that rather than me just blindly accepting what I was told, if I saw something I couldn't explain, it would actually make me think more, so that I could try and come up with some kind of natural explanation rather than supernatural one. I really do feel that, this unquestioning acceptance is something that we should guard against. We should very much guard against abandoning our critical thinking faculties when we're presented with spectacle, because it was spectacle and awe that served people like the Nazis so well in 1930s Germany. And most people are going to agree that there was very little that was good or beneficial about Nazi philosophy. If you listen to the words of the song Razzle Dazzle from the musical Chicago, although it's only a show tune, it's actually satire, and there's some very deep truth in the words of that song. Have a listen to it and you'll see what I mean. Giving up your critical thinking processes, just accepting what you're told or what you see because it looks good, makes it easier for other people to deceive you. It's not about morality. I think that people should make their own morality, and that should be based on reasoned analysis and compassion and empathy, and it shouldn't be based on rules that have just been handed down from generation to generation and are now maybe out of context or may have been subject to transcription errors in the process of being handed down. I think that anybody who turns around and says to you, you have to believe unquestioningly simply based on their authority, either doesn't have a very good argument to begin with, or they've got something to hide. And in either of those cases, they're exactly the kind of people who you should be questioning and in depth. If somebody turns around and says to you, trust me, it's always a good idea to ask them why they have to say that in the first place.